love the smell of E85. Telling you, man, the sounds this Shelby makes with the headers. Well, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great rest of your day, start to your day, whatever time it may be. And I got some interesting news for you guys. Now, this is actually good news. In my personal opinion, some of you guys might be upset, but I think literally 99.9% of y'all, including myself, are gonna be happy. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, which I recommend you guys going ahead and doing so, obviously my Instagram link is gonna be at the top of the description. You guys saw that I did go ahead and finally, now when I say finally, I actually really do mean finally, I finally went ahead and listed the FRS for sale. Now, I've been talking about selling that car for like quite literally like 2.5 years now. I should have sold it 2.5 years ago, because at that time the car was in its beginning stages and I could have gotten like an absolute mint Gen 1 Mustang. I mean, it had like 18K miles. Dude, I'm talking about black. It was a performance pack car. Oh my God, it literally for 16,000, that same car would be like fucking 30 now. I could have got that way back. I wish I did, but you know, everything happens for a reason. It is what it is. I finally decided to go ahead and list that car for sale because it's time to go ahead and move on from that entire chapter of my life. And we're gonna be going ahead and modifying the Shelby, and I think I actually am gonna go ahead and pick something else up that I should have bought last year, but I'll get into that in a different video. I'll be making an entire video, you know, going over, you know, why I'm selling the FRS, the rundown. So if any of you guys on the channel that are interested in pretty much a ready to go FRS that you could turn up to quite literally 500 horsepower, the car is for sale. 19.5. No, I am not doing any type of payments. Some people have been messaging me about that. The only type of payments I will accept on that car are 50% the first month, 50% the second month, and you are not getting the car until obviously it's fully paid off, which is ironically how I sold the 2-valve. So that's just the way it's gonna go if you want to do payments. But I think for a used car, private sale, obviously, you know, full amount up front, there you go. But got some things coming for the Shelby, man. We are gonna be installing, is that a Shelby over there? I think that's a Shelby right over there. Ooh, GT500. Yes, sir. We are gonna be installing an Anderson's composite carbon fiber hood. Now, I actually bought this hood like over a week ago now. Should be getting it next week. So I can't wait to go ahead and get this on the car. I didn't get anything crazy, literally, because I'm boring and I like to just have that OEM plus. It literally is the OEM hood, but obviously the real double-sided carbon fiber. So we're gonna go ahead and get that on the car. I will be getting hood pins, do not worry. I have the same hood pins that, you know, are on the 2020 plus GT500. So, or that style of hood pin, you know, not no cheap, you know, knockoff, that style of hood pin. I think it actually is literally the same manufacturer. It's just gonna be on this car now. I'm not gonna risk not running hood pins on that car when I do go ahead and take it out to Mexico and to the strip, because we got some other goodies coming for this car as well. I've seen firsthand what happens when you're going high speeds, and I'm not even talking about like 100 plus miles an hour. I'm talking about like 70 miles an hour. I've seen firsthand what happens when you do not put hood pins on a carbon fiber hood, and I'm not having that happen to this car. That is literally a guaranteed way to salvage title your vehicle. It's guaranteed. So obviously, you know, you don't want to do that over a $300 part. So we're gonna go ahead and get that on the carbon fiber hood. Do not worry. I recommend anybody that has any type of fiberglass or carbon fiber hood to get pins, it is not worth having that hood fly up. First of all, it's gonna ruin the hood that you paid good money for. It's gonna ruin your windshield, which if you don't have coverage, the windshields are kind of expensive, and you could go ahead and mess up your quarter panels, which if you have a unibody car, you might as well just go ahead and just sell the car at that point, because it is shot. But whew, there's my spiel on that. We get the carbon fiber hood. Cannot wait to go ahead and get that on the car, and we are gonna be boosting this car. Now, obviously, I've talked about this previously. That's a nice ooh, it's a nice Gen 2 car. You got a Mazda up there. They got the nice cars out today. Shelby back there, man. This is a chill video, but I did want to go ahead and let you guys know on what's gonna be happening. You guys know how to keep you guys in the loop with everything. But we're gonna be boosting this car. I am gonna be going ahead and putting an ESS G3X head unit on this car. It's just a G3 with the extra impeller. Damn, they got a nice Supra over there. Oh my goodness, dude, they got the nice whips out today. We're gonna be putting that. I'm getting sidetracked, but shit, like they got all the nice, they got all the nice cars out today. GT500, we got a nice little Mazda, Mustang, you got a Supra. That shit was clean. That murdered out. But we are gonna get a ESS G3X head unit on this car. I'm gonna be putting a fuel system immediately with the ESS kit. We're gonna be running the 100mm pulley immediately, and we're gonna make some steam, man. I think with that setup, this car should make 900 horsepower, around 900. I think literally it's gonna make around 9 to 920, somewhere around there, through a centrifugal supercharger, and we're gonna see how it goes. Let me know down in the comment section if any of you guys have centrifugal supercharged 350s, how much boost are you running, and how much power you're making. I'm not really shooting for a number here. I'm just kind of telling you guys where I think the car, oh my God. Oh, ah! I'm just kind of telling you guys where I think the car is gonna be at after, you know, the blower, the pulley we're on with E85. I'm not even gonna run this car on 93. I think I might have to do the 93 kind of like tune first before I go E85, because I actually am gonna have Lund tune this car. I know they've tuned a lot of boosted 350, so I'm gonna go with Lund. So if I have to do the 93 tune, the car will be on the default pulley for 93, and then obviously for 85 we're gonna run the 100mm pulley, because there's no way I'm running 93 octane with this car with the 100mm pulley. I think with the 100mm it should make around 14-15 pounds of boost, so we should be around the 900 wheel horsepower range. We should be, again, not chasing numbers, because at the end of the day it only matters what it runs on the street. So we're gonna drag the car as well, obviously take it to Mexico, get some runs in, and see how it goes. Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be asking, well, when is all this gonna happen? It's gonna happen, I'm gonna say right now, depending on how long it takes the FRS to sell, I'm gonna say it's gonna happen within the next 90 days. Now, I know that's kind of a long period of time, but I'm not gonna rush anything. I'm not gonna say anything like kind of what I did with the 2 valves, say, hey, this is gonna be done in 6 months. No, we're not doing that. I'm saying within 90 days, this car should at least have the supercharger in my possession. Don't know if it's gonna be on the car by then, because a lot is gonna be depending on timing, you know, tuning wise, install wise, if I'm gonna do it myself, if I'm gonna have a shop do it. For the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with installing the blower. It's just the fuel system that I am not that comfortable with. But we're gonna see. So I'm shooting for within the next 90 days to have this car boosted. Now, as far as the next move goes after the FRS is sold, I have a couple cars in mind. Oh my goodness, man. What does this sign say? Use of engine compression braking. Sorry. Alright, let me stop that. But as far as the next move goes, I have a couple of cars in mind. Again, just like boost, I'm not putting a tomorrow type time frame on it. I'm not gonna put the same day or the day after time frame after that car does sell. There are some things I need to go ahead and take care of first before I do go ahead and add another car pretty much to the garage collection. But I can go ahead and tell you guys right now what I'm looking at. Let me know down in the comment section if you think these are some good options. I've been looking at some built 2-valve cars. I've been looking at some built 4-valve cars. And I've also been looking at some C5s, C5 Vets, both base and C5Zs. Now, before you guys go ahead and comment, go buy your own new edge back. I'm actually not gonna do that. For the price that car is going for right now, and just in my general area right now, I can quite literally find a 2-valve or better, a 4-valve car, S95, the body style that I really do like, that already has, you know, some type of centrifugal supercharger on it with rods and pistons for the same price or 1 or 2K more. And after selling the FRS, I can go ahead and get that, and on top of that, boost for this car. So it doesn't really make sense to go ahead and get my old 2-valve back. I literally would be going back in time. I'd be taking a step back, and that's what I do not want to do. I want to progress. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Let me know what you guys think. In all reality, the C5 Vets are going to be at the top of my priority, just because I have not experienced a C5 Corvette, and at the same time, I do want to experience something new here. And I feel like a C5 would be a good entry vet, because it's raw like the 2-valve. It's gonna feel like a race car, and obviously you know that LS platform. Again, I'm not like, you know, Ford or die, but you know, with that LS platform, you know, you could do a lot for very cheap, and I already kind of have an idea in mind what I would do with that C5. And the best part about it is, a lot of these C5s that I have saved right now, you know, they already got, you know, some of the things that I would go ahead and do, and they're really not all that much more expensive than the 2 and 4-valve cars that I have saved as well. So it's be pretty nice. But again, this is not, you know, a tomorrow type date or like immediately after I sell the car type date. I got some things I need to go ahead and take care of first. I'm actually right now looking at a couple of houses, not to buy but to rent, because I don't really want to be living in an apartment right now anymore. Just my personal position right now, I really don't want to have 2 cars like that in an apartment. Don't live in a bad area, but it just kind of makes sense to just level up and just get into a house. Again, not gonna buy a house right now because I'm still kind of new to the Texas area, and I kind of want to figure out exactly where I want to kind of root myself. But I definitely don't want to be in an apartment. If you know, you know. I just, for my own personal sanity, I'd much rather have a crib. Even though they'd be renting a crib, I'd much rather have a crib instead of, you know, being in an apartment. It just don't really make sense. I know you guys probably know what I'm talking about. For those of you who have been in my position, you guys know what I'm talking about. It just don't really make sense at all. It does not make sense at all. Man, this car, god damn, this Shelby messed me up, man. It really did mess me up. It really did mess me up. I was sitting in my FRS, and every time I got in that car, don't get me wrong, the car is enjoyable. Again, none of the cars that I've had, that I've sold, I'm not saying they're bad at all. I definitely cannot talk bad about that 2-valve, because that 2-valve owed me nothing. That 2-valve took a lick. It never blew up. It never broke down under my ownership. And I enjoyed the hell out of the car, and I spent next to no money modifying that thing, and it put out. Like, that was currently the best bang for your buck that I've ever experienced, was that 4.62 valve. So I definitely can't talk trash about it. That's why I'm actually considering getting one that's already got rods and pistons in it, because, you know, I'd be getting into a more capable 2-valve that I know for a fact I would enjoy. But again, I do want to, you know, experience a well. But like I was saying, man, the FRS, it's fun, don't get me wrong. I can't talk shit about the FRS platform, you know, the BRZ 86 platform. It's fun, the car makes all the good noises, but at the same time, I just feel like it's time to go ahead and move on from that. I've been talking about selling that car for, like I said earlier in the video, I've been talking about selling that car for years now. So I think it's time to go ahead and let it go and just experience something new. Jumped in an S550, never had an S550 before, and literally I've fallen in love with this car. Like, the GT350 is hands down the most fun car I've ever experienced. Like, this is probably like top 3. I'd say this is probably top 3 best 2013 plus manual cars you can buy. Now, I'd say the other cars in there are gonna be the 13, 14 GT500s, the C6 ZR1s, and then this car. Just for manual driver car experience, I think this has to be top 3 in, you know, the respective price range that isn't over like 100 grand. I'd say these are definitely cars you would enjoy. Everybody that I've talked to, I mean, you can't disrespect the 350. You just can't. You can't disrespect the 13, 14 GT500, and you definitely can't disrespect the C6 ZR1. I mean, those are legendary cars, and they're drivers' cars, and they're just a ball of fun. And this, everything about this car, man, like, it's, I mean, dude, like, you feel like a beast driving it. That's what I love about this thing. And with the FRS, it's like, yeah, it's built up, but I don't know, I don't have that feeling with it, man. I don't have that feeling with that car like I do with this car. And that's kind of like what I'm looking for right now. Like, if I don't feel like a beast driving the car, I don't really want it. And I feel like anybody can go ahead and relate to me. Like, if you don't feel like a beast driving your own car, like, what are you doing? That's the whole purpose of buying a nice car, is to feel like a beast driving it. So that's kind of my spiel on what's going down. FRS up for sale, 19.5, hit me up. Gonna be boosting the Shelby, hopefully within the next 90 days, or at least have the Supercharger kit within the next 90 days. And then when I am ready, I'm going ahead and getting a C5. We're gonna be back in a new Edge, which again, I wouldn't be upset about, because I felt like a beast driving that new Edge. I ain't gonna cap. That car was badass. I had a lot of fun with that thing, man. I can't disrespect that 2-valve. I know a lot of people like to rag on the 2-valve, but I think my channel, literally, again, I'm not trying to have an ego or anything like that. I think my channel is living proof that that 4.6 valve is definitely not as bad as people say. I mean, that car put out, man. It really did put out with little to no money put in. I mean, he fucking gaps this car stock. Like, that's the crazy part. So I can't go ahead and talk shit about that car at all. I definitely can't. And I don't think anybody can after seeing those vids. But if you guys enjoyed the video, man, make sure you guys drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. I know some of you guys might be upset, but I mean, shit, I'm happy. I know 99% of you guys are probably happy. Man, we might be getting another new Edge. We might be getting into an LS car. More people might be upset. Might be getting an LS car, but again, I'm not brand specific, man. I don't care if it's got an LS motor in it. I'm trying to get cars that I personally enjoy, that I feel like a beast driving. And I feel like a beast driving the G350. I feel like a beast driving that new Edge. And I'll tell you right now, if I had a C5, I wouldn't care if it was a base model that was chopping with that Sentry. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Hey, look. I'm gonna have a blast. But I don't want to spoil too much. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Deuces.